did his thing, and that's the thing that he did, and he was a true master of that. And if you look at him and you're unaware, if you're like going by the Instagram filter of what fitness should be, Bud didn't have a six-pack. He didn't have, you know, a perfectly coiffed beard and you know, stylish clothes and all of that kind of stuff when he was doing the thing. So but that was by design. That was Bud being who he was. He did not want to be that kind of person. He understood where he was coming from, and he understood what he wanted to be, which was to be at an exceptionally high level at a number of different things, which we're very often told not only not to attempt to do, but that it's not possible. It's not possible for someone to you know, swing a 24 kilo kettlebell for 1,000 reps and then go press 150 pound or 150 pound kettlebell overhead immediately after, and then drop into the splits. But a guy like Bud could do that. And so that kind of inspiration is something that I took to heart very early on in my association with him and a few other strongmen who think the same way. And because of that, it's always been pretty easy for me to navigate back to what is my true purpose in all this stuff. And that's what it comes down to, is what is your purpose in setting the goal in the first place? If you say something like, oh, I want to get in great shape, that doesn't mean anything. It's like saying, I want to travel, or I want to have a lot of money. It's just, it's a concept, it's an idea, but it doesn't really mean anything specific until the individual gets specific with it. So if you're going to set a goal that is linked to your personal priorities and your personal values and your personal beliefs, the obvious first step is to define what your values and beliefs and priorities are. And I think that is the big place that it's very easy to get tripped up before you even before you even suit up to go out on the field to play the game. You have to have that in place. Otherwise, you're going out ill prepared. Where want to go? What are your priorities? What are your beliefs? What are your values? And I encourage people to actually sit down and write out, this is what I believe. And if I'm working with you in a coaching situation like that, then I will break things down into categories like family or health and fitness and finances and career and impact on the world, all of that kind of stuff. And if we start listing those things out, that's awesome. Now we can start to see what do I really believe versus what do I think I'm supposed to believe? Because if I write down something and it doesn't resonate with me, then it's not really my belief. It's something that someone has told me I should believe, or it's something that I feel like I should live up to based on my interaction with the rest of the world, either in person in 3D or via social media or whatever, right? And so getting clear on what it really means, what's really important, is huge. What I encourage people to do, if they're tripped up on that, is list out all of the stuff that you don't want. Because how often any fitness professionals that are in the crowd of listeners that we're talking to, how often does someone come in and you say, okay, what do you want to accomplish in here? Well, I don't want to be fat anymore. I don't want to be weak anymore. I don't want to have pain in my joints when I move anymore. I don't want to keep eating this way. You've just listed off a bunch of stuff that you don't want. You haven't told me anything that you do want, except you kind of have. Because what you don't want reveals to me what you do want. But if you're so wrapped up in, these are the things that I don't want, these are the things that I want to change, I can't stand living with these things in my life anymore, that's a good insight, but it's not any direction. It's not taking any active direction to get away from it. You understand what I mean? Because
I used to work with people who were, I'm sure we've all worked with middle managers or people who, play a role in a project or something like that, and their sole goal seems to be being able to say no to something rather than contributing, some kind of active kind of direction to the project or whatever you're doing, and that's not really. They think it's taking charge of things, but it's not.
Right. So through, first of all, listing out things that we don't want, we can determine what we do want. I actually have a very involved process that I do with my coaching clients where we list these things out, and then we take the thing that you say you don't want and on another piece of paper rewrite it 180 degrees from what it actually, from where you're starting, right? So let's say, for example, we're talking about money, right? I don't want to be broke anymore. Okay, great. All of your attention's going on being broke. What do you think you're going to get? Because whatever you plant and water in your mind is what you're going to get more of. So if you're just continually watering this worry about finances, then you're going to grow more lack of finances, if that makes sense. So we rewrite that. That's a tough one for me to say. We rewrite that sentence. I don't know if you remember, when I was a kid, I had that stutter. So there it is. And that kid's still in me, but I just don't let him run the show anymore. I just tell him it's okay. I got this. Rewrite it as its polar opposite. So what would, I don't want to be broke anymore. It would be, I want to be wealthy, or I want to have more than enough money to do anything that I want to do. And those are good broad concepts. And then from there, we can start to get more specific about it, because having plenty of money means two completely different things to two different people, right? To be to put it in context with some sort of a physical culture or training aspect, to get in shape or to be stronger or any of those kinds of things, you know, the average person who's never done anything, that means something very different to them than it does someone like Bud Jeffries, who was high level at all of those things. You know, so that's the first thing, is figuring out exactly what you want. And then we can look at that list and we can look at what are our personal values and what are our personal beliefs. Well, if you haven't written those down, then you don't know what they are really. You kind of have an idea, but it's kind of like, it's kind of like not reconciling your checkbook every month and then wondering why you're broke, because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know where your money's going. You know, same sort of thing on a much more amplified scale with your belief system. If you believe, okay, I really want to be strong and get in shape, but then the other side is, I really don't want to work hard and I hate going to the gym and I love eating junk food and I hate eating healthy foods, the belief will win over the desire every single time.